welcome to Mental Health Monday with the lovely Anna. And of course, I am Bryon, and we're here to speak about everything mental health from relatable terms to just navigating with you and with us as we have experienced and what we learn as we move forward in this journey. So I'm going to throw it over to the amazing Anna and just give the people a little bit of a backstory on yourself.
Awesome. Thank you, Bryon. My name is Anna. I live in Virginia, grew up here, and a little bit of background about me is that, I started becoming really interested in mental health when my uncle Richard took his life several years ago. Very much made me aware of mental health and how important it was. And then especially as well last year when my mental health was very much tested in different series of situations and really wanting to highlight and focus that and see, okay, what there is to improve and to help other people share information, share resources, because it is important. And the more that we learn and we share with each other, the more that we grow. And so I'm very grateful to have linked up here with Bryon, and we've had several conversations on the topic and how broad it is. And here we are today. So I'll kick it back to you, Bryon.
Well, that was lovely for sure. Yeah, that's what we're here for, is just to kind of give everybody a place to come that's not going to give you we're going to give you a bunch of terms and a bunch of things to think about and discuss and really work on, but at the same time coming from a place of experience and just curiosity. So, my name is Bryon. I live in upstate New York. I've been I was diagnosed with depression at 16. Been in and out of therapy plenty of times. Currently on my longest streak right now, about 3.5 to 4 years strong with one therapist, which has been amazing. It has really helped me through my journey. And my biggest takeaway from all this stuff is just wanting to pass my knowledge on and just try to let people in and let people kind of see where we're at and see how every day is, and knowing that you're just a normal human being, because all this stuff is talked about. There's a lot of things in the news and just outside world where mental health gets thrown around a lot, and I think we're going to be talking about certain things to help us navigate that, where there's good light on it and there's bad light on it, and that's just a very important topic in general. I think the more that we discuss and have good things to say, and you know and good insight is definitely the main key for this podcast. Is if I had this podcast many moons ago at 16, I think I would be it wouldn't have took so long in this journey to get to a good place that I feel like I'm at today. So with that, what do you think we will be talking about as we get into the show? What do you want to share? What are interesting and important things for you, Anna?
Sure. Just a variety of different things, personal growth, therapy, emotional well-being. Really one of the things that as I was learning and I have continued to learn is that there seems to be some disconnect between different modalities, mindsets, and there's just so much information out there. It's easy to kind of drown in it. So, really it's to kind of work through this and make connections because it is all interconnected. Different therapies and modalities, they can pair well together, and that may look different for each person. And so, really trying to bring in, use our, what we've learned, but then also to bring in outside sources and experts from different fields to make those connections. Because, a lot of life is making connection with people on a personal level, professional level. It's making those different connections, connecting the dots in life and in our brains. And so that's what I'm really looking forward to doing here with this podcast.
Yeah, beautifully said. Love that. All that stuff. Connecting the dots, that's a great term, because that's a lot of what this is as we get into it deeper. It's just about the journey that we go through, the ups, the downs, and then everything in between, but they all, if we're going to be simple about it, they all are dots, and definitely can confirm to you at this age that they all do connect. So, and the more that we try to ignore that part of it, the the longer it takes and the worse it gets usually. So, with that in mind, yeah, there's just going to be a lot of things that we can talk about that can be defined in different ways. We could talk to people about it. Like you said, we have some professionals lined up. We'll have people to talk to give us different sides of the coin because that's how we learn, and we attach to things that come and sound exactly what we're feeling, doing, or just any model of anything of just being a normal human being and letting you know it is normal and human to be all these different ranges of emotions, go through different problems, issues, and good things too. Everything's got good and bad things. So, with our experiences, we'll be able to tell you what worked for us and what we continue to do because, as she said, was a beautiful thing as well, is that this is always going to be a continued journey. And you got to be committed to the game, as they say, but in the best way of just knowing that you are the best game and you are worth every moment of the time that you take to learn about yourself and learn about your reactions and things and just what we love to call the very broad words of mental health. So it's gonna
Yeah.
be it's gonna be exciting. I know that we've had some great conversations already, and we look forward to keep continuing those. Just it is important. I've learned through many different ways, and definitely relating to somebody else is probably the most genuine one out of all of them. Although there is a lot to work with all that type of stuff. But I'll give a little bit of my side of what I've been going through and what I've been trying right now, where my current state is, and just a quick thing until we dive in deeper as we go throughout these talks. I'm pro medication. I find that anything, whatever helps. Obviously, you don't want to be a zombie, but you also should try to find a way if you need it. I'm also declared OCD and been diagnosed with depression, as I had stated before. And I've gone in and out of therapy quite a bit and continue to go and grow from that and read a lot of books and continue to work hard and continue to work hard, listen to audiobooks, just try to, relate and make sure that I can deal with this crazy world, and I'm feeling pretty good. And it's definitely why I'm here to share my side and my story and my advice. So, where are you at with mental health right now?
Yeah, and see, that's one of the things I absolutely love is that, we have different like different experiences that we were coming from. So with for me, I, had been not specifically studying mental health, but studying self-improvement, self-help for many, many years, sometimes more so than others. And, reading all the books, trying to, make myself the best version of myself that I can, which, they're you kind of have to watch that sometimes because you can kind of go down the rabbit hole and thinking, oh gosh, I have to continuously do all these things just to feel good. But, like you're saying, is that we're kind of like a picture that we're continuously adding on and embellishing and deepening the hues of the painting. So for me right now is really, really learning who it is that I am at this moment and where kind of the foundations that I came from and kind of where I'm going. I guess some would call it along the lines of a midlife crisis. But no, I really started learning more and more about myself and when I started learning astrology this last year, and it's an ongoing process there too, astrology and astronomy from some excellent teachers that I can't wait to introduce you guys to. But they showed me how different planetary alignments were at my birth and how they can affect me. And it explained so much to me that other areas could not really explain. And now I'm able to work and connect the dots with other modalities and life situations and conditioning, and it makes so much sense. I also, like you're saying, whatever works, and that is different for every other person. Me myself, I am narcoleptic, narcoleptic. So that means that I have excessive daytime sleepiness, no matter how much sleep and rest that I get. So I have to take medication to function on a regular basis, which is actually one of the same medications that folks with ADD, ADHD take. I still, however, have neurospicy moments, and this is where I'm connecting astrology and astronomy. They were able to show me why. And it's, yeah, and how my personal brain operates. And now I'm able to flow with it better. And it's made all the difference.
Yeah, that's some beautiful stuff right there. I do enjoy that stuff from afar, so I'm excited to get to know and learn through you through that type of that area, which is super funny to me what you just said because my ADHD, something that I've been clinically diagnosed with, is something that I also have that I didn't mention. So you imagine me having ADHD and not telling you I have ADHD because I was distracted by anything else that was coming across the screen, like squirrel. It's fine,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's I think midlife crisis a little harsh words, but it's funny and I appreciate that very much. I think it's a whole life crisis. You know what I mean? But for myself, anyways,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
but it's what we've both learned in somewhat of recent time, like how important finding yourself is, and then that kind of opens the rest of the world up, and that's like definitely what we're here to talk about is connecting those dots. Great saying right there. And then just also just trying to give the perspective of somebody that's really trying to be understanding ourselves to win at life. And what winning at life is just basically learning yourself. And when you figure that out, a lot of other things kind of fall into line, kind of like what you were saying as you found out more about yourself. I feel like the weight
Mhm.
is a lot less than it was before. So and that's
Yeah.
how you can help with life, and we hope to help within all of that as well. So I don't know if there's
Yeah.
anything else that you want to wrap up on the short. Just get to know us, talk us a little bit, but we always get tempted to talk very deeply, but we know that's not the topic for today. So if there's anything else you want to just talk about, or if you're good, however you're feeling.
Well, I just wanted to, I guess, paint another little picture is,
Love it.
you mentioned getting to know yourself, and it's in really that's the baseline version of you. And because we're always learning and growing and changing and evolving, where if we stayed the same version of ourselves our whole entire life, that would mean zero growth. And we're here to evolve. So really it's knowing that like baseline equipment. I kind of see it like, okay, this is what your baseline model of your vehicle is, and we're just continuously like adding different things, different, like a Jeep Wrangler, you can add so many different accessories to it, and you also have to maintain it properly. And so that's kind of how I see ourselves is, okay, this is the baseline version of me, this is how I typically operate in different scenarios. How can I continue to maintain it and adjust it, and what modifications do I want on it?
Basically, finding out the best life hacks for yourself along the
Yep.
way, and what I think one thing we've said before is it's like the trench coat of life. You just open it up and then you just take what you need as you go, and then you get rid of things as you're going because you figure out what you need and what serves you and what doesn't. And that's all what you're saying, learning that baseline and getting the outline, because we are forever always changing and always, you know, this moment's already in the past, as I say, past out loud. So we got to take that into consideration, and definitely getting to learn the model of what you are is a good way to put it.
Yeah.
And I think it's very appropriate because it is, as my therapist always says, there's only one person left at the end of the argument, and it's yourself. So at the end of the day, that's what we're finding out about, and it's a beautiful thing when you start to learn and grow. And that's why we say mental health is forever, in the sense that it's never, if you stop, it's not, there's that potential just to go back and feel a lot of things that you don't need to. So It's all about
Yeah.
moving forward and learning with yourself and being okay with yourself. So look forward to
Yes.
getting in depth with that for sure.
Yeah, yeah. We're going to focus more so in on the foundations to begin with, and then start to branch off from there and to go further, go into deeper areas, different branches, and dive deep into certain topics. So I'm very much looking forward to it.
Definitely. Well, for the lovely Anna and myself, this has been Mental Health Monday, the Relatable podcast. We're going to try to come back and keep giving some intelligent but also fun and relatable talks about mental health because it's important, very important to myself. I know Anna feels the same way. So for the lovely Anna and myself, thank you, and we'll see you next time for sure.